Chicago Bears, short week, primetime game. What could possibly go wrong? Let's go. Hey, good morning, everyone. It's Craig Bennett, a.k.a. Cash Cake, back with another NFL Prize Picks video. Chicago Bears, short week. Yes, they put up some points against Denver. We got to remember, Denver gave up 70 to Miami. I don't know who picks these primetime games, but we saw it just on Monday Night Football with the Giants absolutely getting crushed at home. Short week here with the Bears playing Washington. It could be tough sledding here. It's like, I don't think the Bears are got anything together. I think they're going to continue to lose. But we got to pick some plays to go after here. I got 4 of them I'm going to talk about. But again, it always worries me, especially with the Bears on a short week like this on Thursday Night Football. But we'll get after it. If you don't have that PrizePicks account, you want to join us, though, make sure you use that promo code CashCake and get 100% instant deposit match up to $100. A link is always in the description below. Let's get after it. All right, PrizePicks desktop is up here. We're going to talk about 4 plays here that I think you can look at if you're making some slips today. Again, I'm going to play like this game just because you can't. How do you trust the Bears in this situation, right? Like, seriously, how do you trust them? First one we're going to look at, been Justin Fields' favorite target. Basically him and DJ Moore, but he's really comfortable with Cole Kmet here. I like taking the 5 reception targets for kind of see what he's done for the season. He's cleared this in 3 games that were, the Green Bay game wasn't super competitive, but the 2 games that were competitive in Green Bay and Denver both went over. KC game, they just got stomped. I mean, they pulled Kelsey and Mahomes. I think it was 3 or 4 minutes left in the third quarter. So this one's an absolute outlier. And I think the targets are going to continue to be there, especially if they get any kind of pass rush on him. He's got to get the ball out early. He's going to be looking for Kmet early and often. And they just have a great connection together. And 5 seems a little light here, with what he's done. Again, I'm not expecting 9 targets again like he got against Denver. The game, as a touchdown. Short week like this, I think he's going to lean on him. 5 targets feels a little bit light for Cole Kmet. Next one we're going to look at here, there's 2 that I was looking at because it looks like the play I did like, and a lot of people are going to like on PrizePicks, did get bumped up, and I don't really like it now. 16.5 rush attempts. I did like this when it was sitting at 15.5. It's moved a whole point. The first 2, you can look at Arizona and Denver. He went over that. Last 2 games a little bit more a little tougher going up against Denver and Philly. Didn't quite get that, but if they decide on a short week to lean on Brian Robinson here, I think there's a couple plays we could look at. If we look at pass rush and receiving touchdowns, I think he gets this one. He's basically, if he gets in the red zone, he's going to get the red zone touches. I don't think it's a bad look to go after him here. He ended up getting. What was that? I think he got a reception touchdown on week 1 and then 2 rushing touchdowns on against Denver, and then had the rushing touchdown against Philly. So it's a spot where I don't mind him getting another touchdown here. Again, the Bears are just dreadful all around. And if they just try to lean on him to get in the red zone, it wouldn't surprise me to him to knock one in. So I don't mind that one. And the other one I was looking at is, again, rush yards. Cleared it in the game against Denver and Buffalo. Didn't quite get there in Arizona. And then a tougher matchup against Philly, which doesn't surprise me very much. But if you're looking at one of these, rush yards or touchdowns, I'm fine with either one of them. On this one, I'll put up the touchdowns, but I'm perfectly fine if you want to throw up yards as well. Like I said, the favorite play was rush attempts at 15.5, and you can still get that at some of the other places out there. It's just been pushed up too heavily here over at PrizePicks that it's a non-play for me, sitting at this 16.5. The Bears are giving up, I think, just around 115 rush yards a game. It wouldn't surprise me that he gets 100 and a touchdown, to be honest with you. if they do lean on him pretty heavy. So don't mind this at all for Brian Robinson. Again, pick the one you like the most. If we kind of look at his rush yards wise, he's had 19, 18, 10, and 14 attempts, and again, putting up 59, 87, 70, and 45. Again, that game against Philly was a tough one, but a better matchup like this, like I say, he put up 87 rush yards against Denver. Denver is dead last in rushing yards allowed a game at 176. So take that for what you will. The next one we're going to look at here, we're going to go to his buddy in the backfield here. And this was probably the one I'm most nervous about, but just looking at digging into the stats a little bit here, the line has moved a little bit. I think it opened at 10.5 and it's moved up to 13.5. And it's Antonio Gibson, 13.5 reception yards. Like I said, I'm a little bit more nervous about this one, just depending on the game script and how this goes. But the Bears are dead last DVOA against running backs in the passing game. He plays over 70% of the snaps on third down. And if they ever get in those situations, he can hit this pretty easily. If we kind of look at some of the running backs, what they've done against him, the Bears, a lot of them have cleared this line. And he could do it in one catch. Now, I know he's only done this, very rarely. He hasn't really, got there for us. But if they lean pretty heavily on the run game and any kind of passing situations, get it dumped down a little bit, it could be a spot where he can get there. He's had some targets. He's only cleared this in one game so far. That was against Denver. Again, a bad defensive team. He had 4 targets, caught 3 balls for 44. If we go back to the Arizona game, he had 1 target, caught 1 for 10. Buffalo, again, a little tougher defense against Buffalo and Philly, so it's really hard to look at those. But again, 4 targets, 3 for 7 yards, and then 1 target in the Philly game, 1 for 7 yards. So again, I'm a little bit nervous about this one compared to the rest of them, but the stats are there. And if you think it's going to be competitive, maybe look at this play a little bit over the Brian Robinson play. Or if you want to play both of them, I'm perfectly fine with that as well. It just makes me a little bit more nervous. Out of the 4, this one makes me the most nervous if you don't want to play it. But the stats line up pretty good. And if the Bears can get him in third down situations, again, I think you can have 1 catch here and clear this at 13.5 reception yards. But if the game gets out of hand, anything like KC, I would hate this play. So like I always say, if you're building out your game script, trying to figure out how the game is going to go, I would only play this in game scripts where you feel like the game is going to be competitive, and there's going to be situations where it's third down and he's going to be on the field with a chance to catch a ball or 2. That's the only way I would play that play, but I had to mention it. Then the last one we're going to go is a combo play here. I was looking at McLaurin and I was looking at Moore, and I decided, I think the best play for here is just the receiving yards, 110 and a half receiving yards on the over. If we just look at both of these guys, now Terry McLaurin at the beginning of the year, he was dealing with some toe issues. So it's one of those things where, had some issues with his toes. Everything's trending up with him. Last 2 games, Buffalo and Philly, again, 6 targets, caught 6 for 41. And then the game against Philly, Terry McLaurin, 10 targets, caught 8 balls for 86. And then we can look at DJ Moore, same kind of thing with him. Green Bay, the most despicable thing I've seen, when you trade for a guy like this and you give him 2 targets, it was absolutely maddening. It's like, it just shows you how inept that Bears coaching staff is. But they finally figured, hey, let's get the best offensive player the ball, So last 3 weeks, 6 targets, caught 104. And then KC game, again, this is one's hard to touch because they were getting blown out and just were not on the field. And 6 targets, caught 3 balls for 41. And then Denver, 10 targets, 8 balls for 131 and a touchdown, just went off. Again, if this is going to be a more competitive game like the Tampa Bay and Denver game, he could clear this number by himself. But you throw in Terry McLaurin here, where the Bears are dead last in DVOA in the pass, and 25th against wide receiver ones on top of it. I just love adding both of these up. Even if it's a game where it gets a little out of control, well, maybe Terry McLaurin houses a couple and DJ Moore gets you 50. I just feel a little bit more comfortable with the combo receiving than I do one or the other. In a competitive game, I think they both smash. If Washington gets up, maybe we can get lucky with the Terry McLaurin long touchdown and then DJ Moore catch up yards. But this is what I'm kind of looking at, with these 4 plays. Again, if you want access to more stuff that we have and more tools that we have over at dailyedgesports.com, make sure you check that out. But if I had to rank these, I probably would rank these Cole Kmet number 1. I'm going to take the DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin combo yards number 2, then Brian Robinson touchdown number 3, and then I'll take Antonio Gibson number 4 just because it's very game script dependent for me. Bears need to get him in third down to get on the field. And if it is a competitive game, I think he can clear that pretty easily. So with that, appreciate you guys. Again, if you want to check us out over dailyedgesports.com, appreciate you guys for being there, putting up more plays. And again, primetime game Bears, please just make it competitive. That's all I ask. I'm so tired of these blowouts. Not a lot of fun. No fun for anybody. Let's start flexing some good games on these island games, so they're enjoyable to watch and you're not just tilting the entire time because it is rough. So with that, like always, see you on the flip side. Deuces.